I'm Tracy Osborne, and you're listening to the Daring Woman podcast. Imagine the story of a generation being altered by women who were empowered to live their truth and in turn can empower others to live theirs. It's time to rewrite the narrative. So back in 2012, I had a house, I had a 12-year marriage, I had a lucrative virtual assistant company, and, things were going really well. And then one day, my best friend was killed in a car accident. And from there, everything just kind of fell apart. I went into a deep depression. I almost shut down my company. I ended my marriage and moved out of my beautiful house. And it just really, everything just kind of hit almost a rock bottom for me. It took me a couple of years to finally turn things around. And, you hear about these stories all the time of people where the rug just gets pulled out from beneath them. And, sometimes they flourish because of it or in spite of it, and other times not so much. But my guest today, Odette Peek, is no different. She actually had a 7-figure company and then suffered a personal crisis that kind of risked everything. So, Odette, welcome to the show. I am excited to hear your story.
Oh, welcome. I'm welcome. Thank you. It's not my podcast. It's yours.
No worries. No worries. So you had a very lucrative business, 7 figures, and then you had something happen to you that just kind of took the rug out from underneath you. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was 27, I started a business in a recession here in Canada. And you know how you have everyone tells you that you can't do things and you shouldn't do things and you don't have the money and you're only 27 and what do you know about business? And so I didn't really have any support. And I know that resonates with a lot of people, especially women, that they have very little moral support or whatever. But I decided, I just was 27 and maybe just had attitude and thought, no, I'm just going to do it anyways, and grew that business from nothing with all of those obstacles into a multiple 7-figure business. And that business is still around 26 years later. It's international. It's a great company. And the fun bit is I sold it to my ex-business partner, and my daughters have actually work in the company, and that they started their own division within the company. And so it's quite cool. So it's that's sort of the journey of the business, built from a place of no support, not really knowing what I was doing in the whole bit. So a lot of external stuff getting in the way, but the internal gumption was there for me. And I sold it in 2005 to my business partner and embarked on this new journey of, I was newly divorced. I had 2 little kids. What am I going to do with my life? And I literally floundered around for about 5 years. I went back to school and I got a job as in something that was really passionate for me, but I was only making $18 an hour and for not for profit. And my first business was all about just making money. And so I saw both sides of the fence and realizing that you can't have one without the other. And I decided to start my own business as a coach, teaching people how to build businesses so that I could do what I loved and make money instead of being just all money or all just passion. And not that a passion project isn't, in my case, it just wasn't lucrative. I couldn't live on $18 an hour. And so when I started my coaching business, I was really excited because it was an opportunity for me to do the whole thing, as you heard, do what you love and make money at the same time. But within 30 days of starting full-time in my business, I was back in a blended family relationship and really thinking that I could just focus on my business and have my partner take care of the house, the kids, the bills, everything, which is such an ideal situation. But 30 days after starting and going full-time, I ditched the day job. My partner said, this isn't working out. You need to move out. And it's just, we're done, basically, just to be rude, blunt about it. And it was like, wow, I was like absolutely scared. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this by myself? I had a plan. Now that plan's not in existence. So my future was really gone, shall we say. And once the dust settled with that, and I had a bit of a plan, I thought, okay, I'll give it a try, see what I can do for 6 months. And if I have to, I can go get a job. Well, it was about 30 days later that my mom and my mom and dad, who were elderly, 80 and 85, they both fell at different times and both passed away. Both fell, both broke a hip, and both passed away within a couple of months of each other.
Oh my gosh.
So that first 6 months was future's gone, and my parents both dying at the same time. And I was like, wow, I was totally rocked to my core. Now, if that wasn't enough, what was really sort of the icing on the cake was I went to bed one night feeling kind of just stressed. I woke up the next day and I couldn't move. I had developed this acute paralysis in my neck, and which affected my arms and my hands. So I wasn't able to move my upper body. And I was like, what the heck's going on here? So I thought maybe it was just a 1 or 2 day thing. Well, that acute paralysis lasted for 18 months, where I wasn't able to move. And, I share this story just to highlight just how stressful it was. And the weekend that we had the funeral service for my mom, it was June 12th. And we had the funeral service for my mom on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, the moving truck came and I moved out of the family home with my 2 teenage kids. And they were in grades 7 and 9 at the time. And I moved to a new city, and I remember just waking up the next day on the Monday morning going, what the hell am I doing? I can't move. I'm trying to start, get this business off the ground. And that was my spiritual, what I call spiritual breakdown. I just didn't know what the heck was going on. And I broke down internally because it was like, what am I going to do now? How am I going to survive? And so being totally rocked at my core, it was a bit of a fight that came into my head. I have to fight this. I have to move forward. And that first year was pretty tough, but I did well in business, but it was emotionally devastating. So that's the highlight reel of both experiences of having to, fall down and come back up again.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine, just having all of that stuff, boom, 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 one right after the other. I mean, no wonder you were stressed to the max and woke up, unable to move. I mean, that's just, stress does weird things to our bodies.
Yeah.
But so I'm sure that you had points in there where you just couldn't see the light. You just felt like you were drowning. Did you?
I think I felt like I had drowned. It was past the drowning. I was like, I remember waking up, I remember it was like a Friday afternoon or something like that. And I remember sitting on my couch just around 3:00. I remember the sun was coming in, and I just sat down and went, this complete empty void inside of me of what the hell am I doing? I just can't do this anymore. I cannot live my life like this anymore. I can't breathe. I can't, just a lot of I can'ts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just gotta go get a job as a barista. I just wanted to give up and run away, and that was the pinnacle of the spiritual breakdown for me. And here's the reality about spirituality. I didn't believe anything about spirituality. It was like, I was a very black and white person, probably a very angry person. And not probably, I was an angry person, and it just came from all head, no heart. So it was my, whatever you want to call it, my awakening, that it was my rock bottom. And since then, there were many other rock bottoms, but at the time it felt like the rock bottom, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And because I think it was just the spirituality was just cracking me open to say, you've got to get into your heart. And women in business, you're either, the masculine is frowned upon and then the feminine is frowned upon. It's like, what's the balance? And over the next bunch of years, I was trying to find, what is that balance between masculine and feminine? What the hell does it even mean? So it's been a journey. And that was back in 2011, 12, 13-ish, 14-ish. Yeah.
Wow. So we were going through those journeys about the same time.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
know.
doing the same thing there. And you get blindsided by something like that, and you can't breathe. I lost my husband a month ago, and there's days where I have to sit there, and that's all I can really do is just focus on breathing, because I don't remember how. The first week was the worst. It's better, of course, but when those traumas hit, you can either learn from them and move forward, or you can get stuck in them. And obviously you moved forward, which is fantastic. What was that one thing? Because I think those of us who move forward, I think there's kind of that one thing that we hang on to, or that we focus on, and that's kind of our driving force to, okay, I can't let this keep me down. I've got to get back up because of, what was that for you?
Well, I have two daughters, as I mentioned. Well, I have two kids. I have two daughters. They're now 19 and 21. And when people say, oh, my daughters are everything to me. Naturally, kids are always everything to you.
Sure.
But what was everything to me was being the role model for my girls, to show them that you can do anything that you want. You can really put your mind to you put your mind to something, you can make it happen. Positive attitude, all of that kind of stuff. Get out of victim space. And so I had to be the person that I was telling them that they could be. And when I'm coaching women nowadays, it's like, well, especially around mindset stuff, I said, well, are you being the person that you want that you feel that your daughter can be? And they're like, no, I'm not. I'm in I can't mode. I'm in victim mode. I'm in
Sure.
It's impossible mode, financial mode. But they want their kids or their daughters to be something better than they are, better than they're being. And sometimes awareness is everything, and it kind of bites you in the butt sometimes. But it's like, I have to make sure that I'm in that headspace, that I'm showing them exactly from a true essence, right? So I had to really do a lot of inner work. And this last bunch of years, 5 years, has been very much a deep dive into getting out of my own way, taking a look at the negative stuff, the anger, the victimhood, the financial headspace, all of that. And that is tough to be that person. And it's not that I didn't show them the down and out side of me. I mean, they've seen many tears. They actually are the two people that helped me when I was suffering from the paralysis. I mean, they had to help me. It was just the three of us. So I had to talk the talk and walk the walk 100%. And so I think that was the thing that kind of kept me moving.
Right.
Because legacy is not something that you leave for someone. It's something that you leave in somebody. And
I like that.
So, and I think that's ultimately what it was. It was just, I gotta dig deep to clean this up.
And nobody wants to do that. That's the dirty work that nobody wants to do. It's like weight loss. It's like, can't I just take a pill and be okay, be skinny tomorrow? Can't I just take a pill and wake up and boom, life is fantastic again? We want that quick fix. Excuse me. We want that quick fix, and we don't want to have to work for it. And that work is the only thing that's going to propel you forward, really.
Yeah.
So now you've got a pretty strong mission or goal that you want to accomplish by next year. You want to talk about that a little bit? Yeah.
So I never used to meditate. I never used to, I had no spiritual bone in my body. It was nothing. I was so black and white. And to see me now, people are like, wow, I'm the poster child of transformation. To me, everything is about heart and spirituality now, and divine and all of that. And I laugh when I talk about it, because it was just not me. So I started meditating, a couple of years ago, which I'll be honest, I still find really hard to do. But I was meditating and I got this download. And the download was, Odette, your mission here on earth is to eliminate fear from 1 million women by 2020 so they can live their life with power and purpose and without apology. And I was like, who said that? Where the heck did that come from? And it was really the start of the intuitive journey, because I'm extremely intuitive and I'm an empath. And I've had it all my life, but not knowing what to do with it. And that just came to me, and I thought, okay, well, that's my mission here, whatever it is that I do, whether it's working at Starbucks or whether it's with my coaching business. And the last, 6 months, I've been on this path of what is it that I really want to be doing. And the last month, I've come to this conclusion, but it's such a deep message, is that I'm a healer, and it's about helping women heal, and as opposed to just helping them build businesses, because you can build a business, but if you're on the inside, you don't feel loved and healthy and self-love and all of that, it doesn't matter. It's going to be hard to build a business, but it doesn't matter. And women have such a struggle with the self-love and the self-confidence piece. Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. So as I dive through my journey, dive deeper, it becomes more and more clear to me that is what it's about, is helping people, women, uncover what their fear is and being able to obliterate it, but do it unapologetically.
That is powerful. That is really powerful. So how do we do that? I mean, how do we, uncover those fears and obliterate them? Can you give us a couple of tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, it's awareness. You need to take a good look at your life and go, is this the life that I would love to lead? Is this the life, if you have children, is this the life and the feeling of how I'm living this life? It's all about how you feel as opposed to the thing that you're doing. When you wake up every day and go to bed every night, the awareness of, do I feel like this is the life I would love to lead? Like, if wave a magic wand kind of concept. But and if it's not a hell yeah, if it's not an 8 out of 10, hell yeah, I'm absolutely living the life that I want to lead, then you need to take a look at it. And you need to go, well, then the answer is no. Then you need to address that. Because we have so many excuses and justifications of why we put up and tolerate the crap in our life. And it stops us from living the life that we want. So, and as women, we often put our children first, then our spouse first, or our partner, second, and then it's our job, and then it's this, and then it's that. And then when it comes to us, we're like, well, I got to do all of that first. I got to take care of all of that first before I can take care of myself.
Yeah.
So number one is that awareness piece of, are you living the life that you really want? And the second thing is doing that check-in with how does that make you feel? So everything comes down to feeling. Because that is the actual barometer of the truth of what you're doing, is whether you like it or not. Because we go into practicalities, right? Well, the kids have school, or the kids have this, or I got to stay in the job because and on it goes.
Sure.
Or I got to stay in this relationship because whatever, right? And that honesty piece is a hard one. And then I'll just say the third one is to start taking action slowly, because you don't want to blow up your head with, well, unless it's your style to make a change on a dime. But what can you implement every day that fills your soul, your passion, that gets you in the right direction of living the life that you want?
Perfect. Those are some great ideas. And that's something I need to think about too, is, what is one thing I can do today to make tomorrow be better? And I forget to do that. Even coaches need coaches, and we forget to do things too. So glad that you were on, and you could remind me that, hey, that's something I need to remember to do. So thank you so much. Those are some great tips. Wow, this has gone fast. this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your personal story with us, and just letting us know that, you know, life happens. It's gonna happen no matter what, but you can either rise up from it or let it get you down, and it's so much nicer when you rise up from it.
Yeah.
And ladies listening, you know what, I say it all the time. You're not alone on your journey. If you have hit your rock bottom, or you're on your way up from your rock bottom, or whatever, we are here to support you and love you and encourage you. Come join us over in our community on Facebook, the Daring Woman Community. Safe haven, sanctuary. What happens in that group stays in that group. No hate, judgment, nothing but love. So head on over. It's facebook.com/groups/Daring Woman, and join us over there. And we will talk to you next week on the show.